The nation that destroys its soils destroys itself. So, with this great thought, myself Shubhangi Raja Solanki from Pratap Wadley School, Pathankot, is here before you all. And today we will discuss the chapter Forest, Society and Colonialism from your NCERT history book. And we will cover the different topics like deforestation, the rise of commercial forestry, Indian Forest Act 1965, effect of Forest Act on lives of people, rebellion in the forest, the people of Bastar, forest transformations in Java, the woodcutters of Java, and new developments in forestry. So, students, let's begin. Forests play a major role in enhancing the quality of environment. Forests provide us numerous natural resources of economic and medicinal values. Due to growing population and rapid industrialization, world's forest areas are disappearing at fast rate. In this chapter, we'll study about disappearance of forest along with its cause and the issues related to it. Deforestation. The disappearance of forest is referred to as deforestation. The process of deforestation began many centuries ago in India. Under colonial rule, it became more systematic and extensive. So, some of the causes of deforestation are: first one is land for cultivation. As the population increased with time, the need for food increased. Thus, peasants increased the cultivation by clearing forests. In this process of commercialization of agriculture during colonial period, peasants were forced to expand cultivation area to cultivate commercial crops like jute, sugar, wheat and cotton. As a result, forests disappeared to a great extent and cultivation area rose by 6.7 million hectares between 1880 and 1920. Second one is timber supply for Royal Navy. In 19th century, there was need for a strong and durable timber supply for the Royal Navy ships in England. To maintain the timber supply for Royal Navy, search parties were sent to explore the forest resources of India. Lot of trees in India were cut within a decade and huge quantity of timber was exported to England. Expansion of railway network. From 1850s, the railway network expanded rapidly. Wood was needed as a fuel to run rail engines. They are known as locomotives, and wooden sleepers were required to hold the track together. To fulfill these needs of railway, forests were cut at large scale. Enclosure of areas for plantation. Large areas of natural forests were also cleared to set up tea, coffee, and rubber plantation to meet Europe's growing need for these commodities. The colonial government took over the forests and gave vast areas to European planters at cheap rates. The planters enclosed these areas, cleared forests, and planted it with tea and coffee. The rise of commercial forestry. When the forests were being destroyed rapidly, the British government appointed a German expert, Dietrich Brandis, as the first Inspector General of Forest in India. He realized that a proper system was needed for the conservation of forest. Rules had to be framed to prevent felling of trees and restriction for grazing so that forests could be preserved for timber production. All these efforts of Brandis gave rise to Indian Forest Act 1865. Now we'll see what is Indian Forest Act 1865. Dietrich Brandis set up the Indian Forest Service in 1864 and helped formulate the Indian Forest Act of 1865. The first Forest Research Institute, Imperial Forest Research Institute, was set up at Dehradun in 1906. The institute taught the system of scientific forestry. In scientific forestry, natural forests, which had lots of different types of trees, were cut down, and in their place, one type of tree was planted in straight rows. This is known as plantation. For example, cultivation of poplar trees, which are good for timber, forests officials surveyed the forest and planned how much of the plantation areas was to be cut every year and replanted again. The Forest Act of 1865 was amended twice, once in 1878 and then in 1927. No pastoralist was allowed access to forests which produced commercially valuable timber. The Indian Forest Act 1878 divided forest into three categories, with reserved, protected and village forest. The best forests were called reserved forests. Now what are the effects of Forest Act on lives of people? After implementation of the Forest Act, forest people and villagers experienced extreme hardship. Provisions of the Act restricted the traditional rights of local people on forests. Most of the traditional activities of forest communities, like cutting wood for homes, collection of fuel wood, grazing and cattle, collecting fruits and roots, hunting and fishing, all were made illegal by the act. After this, forest guards started to take bribes from local people if they were caught while stealing wood from forest. People use many forest products as fuel, food, and medicines, etc. They use roots, leaves, fruits, rubbers, flowers of different trees, and plants for foods. A number of trees and plants provide herbs of medicinal values. Woods and leaves are mainly used for fuels. Use of forest products also varies from season to season. Effect of forest rules on cultivation. The major impact of forest laws was the ban on shifting cultivation or Sweden agriculture. In shifting cultivation, parts of the forest are cut and burnt in rotation. Seeds are sown in ashes after the first monsoon rain and crops is harvested by October to November. Such plots are cultivated for a couple of years and then left fallow for 12 to 18 years for the forest to grow back. A mixture of crops is grown on these plots. European foresters regarded the practice of shifting cultivation as harmful for the forest. When a forest was burnt, always there was a danger of spreading flames and burning valuable timbers. Shifting cultivation made it more difficult for the government to calculate taxes. The British government banned shifting cultivation. As a result, some communities were forcibly displaced from their homes. Some of them had to change their occupations, while some revolted against the law. The shifting cultivation has many local names like lading in Southeast Asia, milpa in Central America, chitamen or tavi in Africa, Chena in Sri Lanka. In India also, it has many local names like Dhyapenda, Bewar, Nevad, Jhum, Podu, Khandad, Kumri, etc. Prohibition on hunting after Forest Act. Before the forest laws, many people who lived in or near forests had survived by hunting small animals. This was prohibited by the new forest law. The forest law deprived the forest dwellers of their customary rights to hunt. Those who were caught hunting were punished. This illegal hunting was termed as poaching by colonizers. The Britishers saw large animals as sign of wild, primitive and savage society. Under colonial rule, the scale of hunting increased largely. As a result, many animals became almost extinct. They believed that by killing dangerous animals, they would civilize India. They gave rewards for the killings of tigers, wolves, and the other large animals so that there would be no threat to cultivators. Initially, certain areas of forest were conserved for hunting. Later, environmentalists and conservators began to argue that all these species of animals needed to be protected and not killed. New trades, new employments, and new services. Due to control of forest department on forests, people suffered in many ways, but some people benefited from the new opportunities that had opened up in trade. This happened not only in India but in the whole world. For example, due to growing demand of rubber, Mundurucu people of Brazilian Amazon began to collect latex from wild rubber trees for supplying to traders. In India, trade in forest product was a regular practice from medieval periods onwards. After the arrival of Britishers, the trade for forest products was completely regulated. British government gave sole right to large European trading firms to trade in forest products of particular area. In this process, many pastoralist and nomadic communities of Madras Presidency like the Korava, Kracha and Yerukula lost their livelihoods. Some of them began to be called criminal tribes and were forced to work in factories, mines, and plantations under government supervision. Low wages and bad working conditions. New opportunities in trade of forest products did not improve the life of the forest people. Forest communities like Santals, Orans, they belong to Jharkhand, and Gonds from Chhattisgarh were recruited to work on tea plantations in Assam. Their wages were low and working conditions were very bad. Also, they could not return to their home villages easily from where they had been recruited. So, students, that's all for today. We'll continue rest of the topics in our next video. Till then, have a marvelous day. Take care, everyone.